You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Everybody used it, so a lot of cool things about it. So
I know in New Mexico we used a disc, that CD, that was put out by the city of El Paso on xeriscaping and xeriscape plants.
Right.
So really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I remember we had in Corpus, we had a xeriscape plant list. And, we had a xeriscape Corpus Christi. So
right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that for water conservation that's out there. And I think even Austin had some kind of other program. I think theirs was Grow Green or something. It was kind of
something like that.
Yeah, something a little twist on it or something like that. So, yeah, we've kind of
we don't need xeriscape here.
Yeah. In bog gardens sometimes.
Right.
Which, that brings up an interesting point. We were, the gentleman from A&M yesterday, the weather guy, he was talking about, the effects of Harvey. Yeah.
Right.
And how much rain and everything we had associated with it. And there was only one area on that one chart that he showed that, Harvey did not hold the record for. It was only the 2-hour most rainfall in 2 hours.
Right. I saw that. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just
billions and billions of gallons of water that was just dumped here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was a great deal. I'm glad I got to go, and thank you for kind of hosting me there. And
You're welcome.
I really enjoyed it. It was very beneficial and backs up a lot of the things that we do in Extension.
Exactly. I thought it confirmed a whole lot of stuff that Extension's doing, and the Master Gardeners too.
Right. Yeah. They talked about irrigation. Fort Bend County, they've got a great little program down there.
They really do. I was impressed with that. Larry the sprinkler guy.
Larry the sprinkler guy. Yeah, that was kind of neat. It's an animated little sprinkler that pops up and talks to you. So I thought that was kind of cute and good too. So
I did too. Yeah,
makes people aware. Yeah, we've kind of started to warm up. We're windy. We got the typical March winds. In a sense.
A lot of pollen in the air.
A lot of pollen in the air, yeah. We had one of our staff members out for a day. She
really
had a migraine, and it's all, wind related and pollen and things like that. So we got lots of things going on. I think we're probably about another week away or 2 weeks away from, the pine pollen kind of disappearing. So,
right.
But that'll kind of help some people. But the problem is oak is the most... Yeah, it's the most allergic.
Right, because it's a lighter pollen, and it's what's going to get in your respiratory system.
My wife and I were having a discussion about it, and she said, well, "How long does this stuff take to go away?" I said, when it goes away. But because weather has a tendency to impact the longevity of how long it stays and goes away.
Right.
But there was a little deal on there. It said 23 to 25% of people are allergic to pine. But a greater majority of people are allergic to the oak.
Okay.
So it was one of those, I was like, factoid.
Yeah.
Save that one for later. Put that in the back pocket.
But I'll tell you this, I'm seeing stuff bloom. My amaryllis are blooming. My irises are blooming already. Everything's just busting out.
Yeah, soil temperatures came up quick and started to kind of get things going. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And also, things have kind of taken off better than they have in the past, because we haven't had the cold front after deep cold front that chills us way down.
Right.
So things are blooming a lot different.
Even though we had some snows, but they were short-lived, and the winter hadn't been that really cold.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, we did have more of a winter this year. That's what the climatologist was talking about. We had more of a winter this year, and then for the first year, I saw my oak trees actually drop every single leaf.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Typically, I still had green leaf material on those plants, but not this year.
Yeah.
Which is good. It sends things into a better dormancy, and they kind of get normalized in a sense.
And it gives us more leaves for our compost.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That ends up being mowed and put in my yard.
Right.
So.
Yeah. That's good too. Yeah.
Yeah. The caveat though has been the amount of rainfall.
Yeah.
It's really caused some issues. In fact, I had to this year. I had to just say forget it. I went and got 10 yards of soil and came in and raised up an area. Tried to get some of those areas that were just basically holding water and standing water.
I have seen that in my yard too, as well as other people's yards.
Yep.
I was telling you about the people I was with we were with yesterday, and
Yeah.
they have a standing water. They were worried about their grass. I
Right.
mean,
Not much you can do.
not much you can do. Fill it in. You know?
Yeah, and that's
Plant some
it.
more grass if
Yep.
you want to.
Yep. That's what I had to do. I had to start with my landscape part and build that up, and then
Right.
then fill in the holes, the big old pit in my front yard, just to get the drainage away from the house. And and that's a good thing to do. In fact, I had one of the master gardeners today ask me about it.
Right.
What do I do in that situation where I have these areas that are low spots?
Right.
Well, should I wait till May or June? Well, you don't want to wait till the middle of summer.
Right.
And
That's
you can,
true.
And
Yeah.
and when you typically do a top dressing with your lawn, you only do about half an inch of soil.
Right.
So because you
That's
don't want
not
to,
gonna-
you don't want to smother it,
Right.
right? And some of the areas that I had in there were 8 inches deep.
Oh. Whoa.
So I smothered my lawn, in those areas.
Yeah.
But and that's where you just have to go in, and you're trying to change that drainage anyway.
Right. And so sometimes it's better to just get rid of all those things and just put some more in if you want to.
Right. And then just put sod over the top of it
Put sod over.
and just
That's all
redo
you
it.
have to do. Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, it's there's a lot of it going on. Typically the best thing to do in that situation, create drainage, create it where it goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
It took a lot of soil.
Yeah.
I didn't have a kid to help me for a while.
Right.
so.
Right. Well, I've been seeing a lot of the large patch. Too.
Yes, quite a bit of it. In fact, we had probably about 5 or 6 cases of it this last week, and we were talking about it. I was talking to my neighbor here this last week, and he kind of looked at my yard and then turned around and looked at his, and he says, "Looks like I have a problem." I was like, "Yeah, you got yourself large patch."
Yeah.
And for most of the listeners here, large patch, they used to call it brown patch.
Right.
But
Yeah, I think you and I talked about
yeah,
it.
and you wrote an excellent article. And by the way, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I've gotten like 6 or 7 emails in the last couple of weeks.
Really?
Of people quoting. I saw that article in the November issue of the Woodlands.
Oh, wow. That's great. Oh, I'm glad to see somebody's reading it.
You're the lawn expert. Oh, okay. But yeah, thank you. And it's it's rampant, and it's just because of temperatures. Typically, large patch is something we see in the fall.
Okay.
Because of the way temperatures and humidity and things like that
Sure,
occur.
yeah.
But this year, we just had the right conditions to make it worse. The fact is that fungus is already there.
It lives in the soil, right?
Yeah,
It's always there.
Yeah, it's always there. So the fact is it's always been there. The
Uh-huh.
grass is just more susceptible, and the environmental conditions were just perfect.
Okay.
So
it's a perfect storm.
yeah, the perfect storms. Yeah, and my neighbor across the street. He had a very large patch. It was basically his whole front yard.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
And he's going to have to resod probably.
Probably. I went over and I looked at it, and I told him, I said, let's don't turn that sprinkler on yet.
Right.
Let's let it roll. He gets a little bit of kind of mid-morning shade in the front yard,
Uh-huh.
so I said, let's just don't turn it on.
Well, what if somebody wanted to take care of that large patch? Is there any way they can get rid of it?
Well, getting rid of it, no.
Yeah.
Unless you want to put, 300 gallons of Clorox on your lawn, 'cause
Right.
that's the only thing that kills the
Right.
fungus.
Yeah.
But you
Kills
don't want to
everything
do that.
else,
Yeah,
right.
it killed everything else. The only thing you can do, fungicides can be used as a preventative,
Uh-huh.
but you have to get it before you start seeing the symptoms.
Aha. Okay.
Most of the time, it's just
After when you see the symptoms, the damage has already been done. Right?
correct, and it's already spreading. Now, the good thing about a fungicide is it'll stop the spread of it, or at least slow it down.
Right. Okay.
So that's the good part about it. So if you can get it before it gets the symptoms, at least
Right.
you're using a preventative, and you're keeping that grass healthy over a longer period of time. Typically, what we see is that when you have a fall outbreak of large patch, you have slowed or low green up in the spring.
Okay. Yeah.
So it can damage the grass to the point where it kind of decreases its overall health.
Well, would it change? Would it help to change the pH in there, like adding sulfur or something like that?
Yeah, that's. Well, sulfur is one of those things that's a natural,
Right.
type of fungal type deal. They use it for all kinds of stuff, and it'll work, but not excessively.
Right.
The main thing is changing the environmental conditions, what you have control over. Reduce your watering. It may be low spots. The other thing that a lot of people don't think about, because I bet you there's a lot of people right now that are going and buying those big old bags of fertilizer.
Weed and feeds?
Yeah, weed and feeds too. Oh, that drives me nuts.
Me too.
Yeah, it's if you're going to fertilize. If you're going to treat your weeds. And the thing is that timing is completely different.
Right.
What the issue is with brown patch or large patch is high nitrogen fertilizers actually make it worse. You're feeding the fungus. So you're causing, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire and you're making it worse, which that's what happened to my neighbor's yard. Because I watched his crew over there go and fertilize about 2.5 weeks ago.
There's probably some real high nitrogen content in that.
Man, the next thing I know, it's like, boom, and it's just growing, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And so there's things you can do, maybe top dressing with a compost, maybe a more natural form.
Right.
There's, MicroLife, Sweet Green, there's Nitrophosphate Green, there's some of these other natural type fertilizers.
Ocean Harvest, maybe you could spray it on there.
Yeah, something like that. And the whole thing is, if you're going to use any kind of liquid or anything, make sure it's early in the morning.
Right.
Let it burn off during the day.
Right.
Those types of things. So, you can do those types of things, changing the environment, allowing more airflow through there so it'll dry it out. That's some of the things that are the best things to do. So we, it's something we deal with on a consistent basis at the Extension office. We always get, photos sent through email and people coming in with their questions. And so it's something
I brought some over there and you've looked at it through the microscope and, discovered that's what it was.
Yep. I always like getting those emails.
Yeah.
Bob Daly referred me to you. I love it. I really appreciate it.
I figure you need some extra.
I need some extra
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you all for joining us today. I'm here with Bob Daly. We're talking about a little bit about the problems that you're experiencing in the landscape, and we'll be talking a little bit about the plant sale coming up.
Yeah.
And also, talking about some of the water conservation things and efforts that are being made. Appreciate y'all joining us. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris.
And we're with the Ticket Stub Podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub Podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
All right. Welcome back to the Extension Hour. I'm Michael Potter. I'm the horticulture agent for Montgomery County, and I'm here with Mr. Bob Daly.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, sir. He's one of our master gardeners, and he works with the woodlands, Powers, and we do a lot of discussion with water conservation, and we get a lot of grass problems.
A lot. Yes. Yes, I know.
You know.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
People calling you, come out and check this out, see what this is.
I bet I do 5 a week.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, at least. Yeah, I was actually running a count. I think I'm already up to actual emails that I've had to deal with as far as plant problems, 165 this month.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, that can be quite time consuming, but also be very beneficial too, because a lot of these people are new. They don't.
And so you get to educate them, and they come from different parts of the country.
Yep.
And they're not familiar.
Yeah, and people don't realize, we're not selling anything.
Right, exactly.
We're providing education, research-based information to you, and our job is to save you money and hopefully save you time too.
Right.
And
promote healthy plants.
Right, and a healthy environment.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key. We're talking about large patch and being an issue, and I always my general recommendation for people is don't go out there and go buy a fungicide.
Right.
Change what you have control over and let just Mother Nature take its course.
Right. And so we were talking about in the large patch, too much watering could also be a problem with that, right?
Oh yes, excessive. Yes, and a lot of times, in fact, I just had a gentleman that I've been working with for a couple of years sent me an email and says, "Okay, my grass is getting a little dry, I think." And I said, if you think it is, go take you a shovel.
Yeah.
Split that soil open about 3-4 inches down and see what you've got.
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Inch and a half down, he's got moisture.
He's got moisture.
So
yeah.
there's no need to turn on the irrigation.
Right.
There may be something else going on, but for the most part, no. He just needs to wait.
Because too much water will exacerbate the fungi and the large patch. I mean,
Over fertilization.
right?
Yep. Using too much of something, it'll make it fire up and make it worse.
Right.
So yeah, there's a good balance. I'm one of those people. I just don't have the time to mess with it most of the time. But you look at my neighbor over there who's got the nice
Showed
big
me
yard.
that picture on the break.
Yeah, nice big yard. He's got he has somebody fertilize it. He has somebody maintain it, and
Right.
the only thing I ever do is mow,
Right.
and my yard looks nicer.
A lot nicer than
and
his.
No disease.
Right. Yeah.
But and that's
So that should tell him something.
yeah. I'm trying to lead by example.
Sure.
And I have some of the master gardeners question me, and I said, "Come on by anytime.
Yeah.
Look at it. You can see I don't have an irrigation system. The only irrigation
I'm a
system,
hose dragger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I drag the hose and I shoot the spot that needs it, and that's it.
what I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different approach.
Mhm.
Somebody asked me today, they were talking about trees and shade,
Right.
and they said, isn't now the wrong time to trim trees? I said, depends on who you are.
Right.
Yeah. The guy whose job it is, they know how to get it done, and
Sure.
sometimes that's the case.
So like oak trees, it's okay to prune them anytime, right?
Yeah.
Any time of year.
Yeah, you can prune them anytime. There's a more recommended time of year to do it.
Sure.
And especially when, some of the smaller plants that we've experienced, freeze damage with.
Yeah.
That's now they should already be budding out or blooming or something. So, now's a good time to say, okay, yeah, I need to trim this back.
Right.
And you would see where to trim it back.
Mhm.
Looking at those nodes, you want the plant to go to the left side, you leave that node.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I trim my roses in February,
Uh-huh.
and that's you got to figure those things
Yeah,
out.
you got to kind of think, okay, if I trim right here, if this grows, it's going to go this way. And
Right.
you can
Sure.
retrain a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bonsai on the big time. So
Right.
it's trying to do things large scale. So, but yeah, it's cumbersome. It's fun.
Yeah.
And people love to garden. People love to get out in their yards. And I hate to see people have those kind of issues, but a lot of times they are exacerbated by themselves.
Right.
They-
Exactly.
They overwater. They
So
don't.
it's a question of education. I mean,
Mhm.
if people would follow the recommendations that you're making,
Mhm.
then they probably wouldn't have all the problems or as many of the problems as they
Right.
do now.
Exactly. And sometimes, you kind of have to work backwards. I mean, I've made some, in fact, there were some pictures you sent me, and I was out looking through some stuff,
Yeah.
and I went back and I went, you know what? That was not fertilizer burn. That was gray leaf spot.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I got a lot closer in and really started to look at
Uh-huh.
it, and I went, you know what? And I just
So-
went, nope, that was gray leaf spot.
So when we see fungal anything, it's
Mhm.
probably
Mhm.
one of those things. It's
Yep.
Probably a fungal infection.
Right, and see, most of the time, being in what I do, I automatically look at something and I say, okay, what did they do?
Right.
Was it fertilizer? I start asking those questions.
Sure.
And sometimes you have fertilizers that will stick to a leaf and cause necrosis or death to the
Right.
part of the plant. So
Right.
you have to look at things like that, and that was one
Or
of
a
those things.
gas spill.
Yeah, exactly. I've had some pictures. I do a deal at the end of my turf talk with my master gardeners. I put about 20 slides,
Right.
and I say, okay, solve the problem. Here's the picture.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that when we got to the slides that you showed me, you gave to me, fertilizer burn. I said, I did the same thing.
Right.
Because I didn't stop and think a little further and go, what are the issues?
Right.
Did they fertilize? What did they use?
Mhm.
It was one of those things where it looked textbook, but
Right.
it wasn't.
It's kind of like Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
You eliminate
CSI.
all the. Yeah. CSI. Yeah.
CSI for plants.
Right.
That's what I told
Exactly.
people.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and you have to, and it's, I've had some people that get real frustrated because they want it to be simple. And
Exactly.
sometimes it's just not.
Yeah.
If I could have the silver bullet to cure all, I would have done it
Sure.
a long time ago. But there's a lot of things that we do, practices that we can change that help us in the long run.
Yeah.
Not only that, the thing is, water's getting expensive.
It's getting crazy expensive. and it's not going to stop. Mm-hmm. It's going to continue going up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like we saw yesterday. I mean, the prices have just gone beyond electricity and natural gas and all those things. You know, for household costs, it's incredible.
It is, and you know, and there's all different types of theories of 20 years from now, what is our weather going to be like? Are we going to be the Dust Bowl again?
Right.
Those things are, as we kind of learned, they're kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
We're going to go through cycles. We're going to have these monsoon events.
Exactly.
That give us the anomaly or the appearance that we've had 70 inches of rain.
Sure.
Because it was a one-time event. But it was funny, we talking about Hurricane Harvey,
right,
and everything that it broke, but yet it still showed that we were kind of below normal.
Exactly. It's because we didn't get a whole lot of rain for the whole year, so 50 inches, 48 inches. Well,
And then all of a sudden you get 21 inches in a couple of days.
That's right.
That is,
it's just one of those anomalies that happen in the normal scheme of things in the weather.
And I always tell people too, it's Mother Nature. We can't control that.
Nope.
But there's things that we can do to change it. We can alleviate some of those things by having the right soil or changing things over time.
Right.
And
it's not going to happen overnight.
No. Yeah. My theory is always it's building a good soil.
Right.
So I use a mulching mower. I mow often.
Right.
Those leaves that's all nutrients that are in those leaves.
You're just putting that right back into the soil.
So it gets integrated back in the soil and makes everything nice and happy.
Right.
Or at least keeps it, going. Now, I mean, there are going to be times, chinch bugs.
Sure.
Gonna get them.
Or sod webworms.
Gonna get them. Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of yards destroyed by sod webworms this last year.
Ton. Yeah. I started to get some in mine. In fact, they would hide in the bushes.
Yeah, the little moths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The moths would hide in the bushes, and next thing you know, it was barren grass.
Right, and
they
they'll go
mowed it
fast. Yeah, they'll kill the roots and everything. They kill the whole system.
Yep. Yeah, it's real impressive. Some of the things that we can encounter.
Yeah.
A lot of the things we've caused ourselves, and some of the things are just Mother Nature, and we just gotta find the best way to adapt and change.
Sure.
And a lot of people don't have time and don't have the means to be a watchful eye on their lawn, so they hire companies to do it, and that's fine. I still go back to the fact that more natural we can be.
Sure.
And I'm not saying go organic or anything
No,
else.
but I mean, you have to do what you have to do. Like sod webworms, I mean, you got to get rid of them.
Yeah, all of the strategies used to control any insect, weed, they're all tools in your tool belt.
Yep.
And you can decide whether you want to use them or not.
Right. IPM, Integrated Pest
That's
Management, is the best way to go. I agree with you.
Exactly. And water conservation is one of those things.
Yeah, that's right.
You choose cacti and you put it in the tropics. Guess what?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can have some soggy cactus.
Soggy and dead cactus.
Dead cactus.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's one of the things. Our organization, the Master Gardeners and everything, having the plant sale coming up tomorrow.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. It's coming up tomorrow. We've got, we've got a, not right. It's bearing up on us.
Well, and I was looking at the list, and it's amazing how many plant. This is the largest plant sale I think the Master Gardeners have ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's like 325 or 330 species of plants. Mm-hmm. We can probably talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll also kind of let the public know too about why we do it.
Right.
There's a reason behind it. These are all fundraisers, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back in a moment. You're here with Bob Daly, and my name is Michael Potter. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you for listening to 104.5, 106.1.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
All right, welcome back to the Extension Hour. Michael Potter, I'm here with Mr. Bob Daly.
Hi, Mike.
Hello, sir. We're at 104.5, 106.1. In case you're just joining us, we've been talking a little bit about lawn problems. We've been talking a little bit about the upcoming plant sale, water issues.
Right, just a whole list of
whole
things.
list of things.
Yeah.
That great conference we attended yesterday.
Fantastic conference.
Yeah.
Best one I've been to.
Yeah, I got a lot out of that. I really enjoyed it. It's so funny. There's little things you can take from something like that.
Sure.
And mine was developing a media. How can you develop your word and put it out there in the right manner
And get it out to the people who really need to have it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It was really interesting and really kind of a neat deal. So
That Denver water program is just fantastic.
I'm not
Phenomenal.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about the master gardeners and kind of the educational role that they play and
Sure.
and having these plant sales.
Yes.
You've been around a while with master gardeners and seen these plant sales. And
Mike, this is the biggest plant sale I've ever seen. I mean, there's 325, 330 different species of plants.
Mm-hmm.
And how many actual plants do we have out there?
Over 12,000.
12,000
Yes.
plants.
Yes, and it's funny. A lot of people, we can't say that we have the cheapest prices in town because
Right.
we really don't. We're competitive,
Sure.
but we try to bring in a lot of plants that you typically don't find in other places.
Right.
And these are all plants that are good for the area. They may be plants that may not be grown commercially. They may be native
Sure.
plants or adapted plants that haven't been around for a while. Some of our master gardeners have hog holes in their
Right, yeah.
in their yards of plants that they've been keeping for years.
Right.
So and what we do is we do fundraising. This is our fundraiser, or one of them, one of three for the year.
Right.
For our plant sale.
And this supports the Master Gardener programs for the different presentations that the Master Gardeners make, all the different services that the Master Gardeners provide.
All the outreach education we do.
Sure.
The Saturday classes that we're starting to
Those are
provide on a yearly
great
basis.
classes.
Yes, those are fun. I
Yes.
really like that. We have a good amount of people, 40 to 45 people that show up to every single one of those Saturday morning classes.
That is totally amazing because you're educating a large segment.
Yeah, if in public, if you're out there listening, one of the ways you can get to those classes, you can go to that www.mcmga.com. The classes are listed on there as they come up, and you can also call the extension office at 539-7824 for the Master Gardener helpline. They'll be able to help you. They got the schedules right there of what's coming up, and in fact, that was one of the things I was thinking about earlier. Is we've got of course the plant sale tomorrow morning, 8 to 9. I do a presentation.
I was going to say you're going to have a presentation.
Yeah, I do a little presentation, a little bit of education. In fact, I just got done at 12:30 with the preliminary Master Gardener test run.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, we involved Miss Linda Crum in there.
Yeah.
And Miss Lynn Shaw. I made her get up
Oh,
and do
Lynn?
a little bit of
Oh, good.
I've been wanting to kind of implement some of that.
Sure.
I asked her about maybe 10 minutes before the deal. I said, "Can you come talk about some of the vegetables?" And she goes, "Oh, great." But she did. She does a wonderful job.
She
too.
does do a wonderful job. Yeah.
And we've got, on April 14th, shade plants selection and care.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
that
a good
starts
one.
at 8 o'clock in the morning, runs to 10.
These are all Saturday programs.
Yes. And they're $5 for each class or $8 for both.
Really? Okay.
So you got 8 to 10, you got shade plants, selection and care, and then the one after that is going to be herb care and uses. So yeah,
And there's a whole series of these.
Yes, yeah, we run all the way out into October. In fact, we schedule these probably in, I think we schedule these in June or July, for the following year. So we start those classes in January.
So your calendar is already taken care of for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we've got these classes already scheduled out. We've got a open garden day coming up on May 8th.
Yep.
Or excuse me.
I got that email.
Hold on, let me get it further back. May 5th.
Want to borrow my glasses?
Yeah, I may need them. But yeah, May 5th. May 5th is when that's going to be. So yeah, that's a great opportunity for the public to come and talk to the master gardeners that work out in the demonstration gardens,
Right.
which is also supported by those fundraisers.
Right, and there's some great stuff going on in these demonstration gardens. I mean, the vegetable gardens, they're testing new varieties out there.
Right.
The earth kind garden is just phenomenal. Rainwater harvesting, we were talking, there's 9 or 10 large rainwater harvesting tanks out there that, I think is astounding.
17,000 gallons.
17,000 gallons.
Yep.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. That was one of my efforts to come in too, is to expand that.
Yeah.
I think since I've come in, we've increased, let's say, about 4,000 to 5,000 gallons, which is great because that reduces that water imprint. That we're utilizing city water, so to speak.
Sure.
And we're using natural water, which helps things grow better.
I agree, and you also have drip irrigation out there, and that's all the vegetable garden is drip, and the earth kind garden is drip. In fact, just about everyone.
Just about every garden is drip. And in fact, that's a lot of that fundraising.
Right.
And that's where that goes back to.
For supplies for that process, and
plants.
it's for the public.
That's right. It's for the public. It's just to show you, different ways to do things. Some of the vegetable gardens. We were talking today about squash. One of the biggest problems with squash is the squash vine borer. Well, we actually did a research project at the Extension Office between using a product that's called carbaryl, which is the active, insecticide.
Right.
Using an injection method of a natural product that they inject it with a syringe
Into the plant.
into the plant stems, and then using a mylar sheet material as mulch. And believe it or not, the mylar works the best.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we did a study on that, and so there's all kinds of little research projects we have going on. We're really big right now. We're trying to develop the turf grass area.
I know you were going to get.
Yep. We're going to have to get to that.
Gary Tannehill.
Gary Tannehill's in charge of that one, and
he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, we got different kind of irrigation methods that we're working on, and some of it we're going to have an actual variety demonstration to show the different types. Maybe Floritam.
Right.
St. Augustine versus Raleigh and Palmetto or something.
Right,
like
I got
that.
you. Yeah.
We've already got one area there that we've got dedicated to a celebration, Bermuda grass.
Okay.
That's been really kind of interesting to watch and look at. So we're trying to get the public to see these things, and we're also trying to test some things and see how well they are adapted to our area.
Right.
So that's the main thing. So a lot of that, the facilities is bar none.
People should see that. See the operation out there.
It's a mini botanical garden.
It is, yeah. Well, in some cases, it might be a big botanical
just
garden.
depending.
How many acres are out there? I can't remember.
I think it's actual garden space. It's over 1.5 acres or something like that.
It's significant. I mean, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think total facility is like 5 acres or 4 point something. Right. But it may be 2 acres. I need to measure it one of these days.
There are rose gardens. There's native plant gardens. There's all kinds of bog. The bog gardens.
The orchard.
The orchard. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turf
The bees.
The bee area. Yep. We got a bee area that's being built right now, and she's actually going to expand at some point and put it like an active visual hive out there.
Oh, that'd be great.
Where the little room where you can kind of go in and see that hive from the inside. It's a teaching tool.
Yeah.
It's another teaching tool.
Yeah.
So we've got aquaponics, which is a great closed system.
Fantastic.
I know.
Aquaponics is just amazing.
Yeah, and Jim Buncho, who's in charge of that deal, he's really a neat guy. I'm so blessed to have such good volunteers such as yourself and Jim and some of these guys that are just
Great
so
stuff.
active and understand.
Mike Mendeck, all those people, Linda.
Yeah. We just, they understand what we do and why we do it.
Sure.
And the whole thing is that these plant sales, they further support that by we're trying to sell the best plants for this area.
Right.
We're not going to sell you plants that don't grow.
Right. Exactly.
Or plants that are damaged or diseased or anything like that.
I have never had problems with any plants that I've gotten at the Master Gardener plant sale, ever. And I've got some really nice plants there.
Yeah, in fact, they're always beautiful. I mean, they
Oh,
really
they're
are.
gorgeous, yeah.
And before we came here, we told them there was some of the plants that we said if you can't grow these kind of plants, you need to stop being a master gardener.
Right, right, that's right.
Just teasing them,
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's, if you can't plant one right, we definitely need to retrain you.
right,
You know.
exactly. Yeah.
But we have a wonderful facility up there, and I just encourage people to come out and look at it. And,
Take a look,
And if, like I said, if they want that type of information, they can go to the website, the www.mcmga.com, and that information is always posted on there. There's also an area that you can sign up to receive updates from the website.
Right,
And,
yeah.
And
Now, the Master Gardeners also, we have a 9 to 5 hotline.
Right.
At that same number you mentioned earlier.
Yes, sir.
And they're there from 8 to noon, and then they take a lunch break, and then they're 1 to 5.
That's right.
Monday through Friday,
Yep.
unless it's a holiday.
Unless it's a holiday, yeah. And they're there to answer questions. We've got some of the best in there,
Yeah,
talking
really do.
turf questions, and they try to alleviate some of the things to hit my desk, which is great.
And it's not only the hotline, but I see they also, people come in and bring plants and have
diagnosis
problems,
Yeah,
diagnose the problem.
yeah, or what is this plant?
Exactly.
Is this a
Yeah.
weed? Is it not? There's fruit problems or whatever it may be. So yeah, it's a good resource for the public.
It really is.
Yeah, and now with, of course, digital, I mean, you can send photos.
Send photos, yeah.
Yeah, the mcmga9020@gmail.com. God, if I got that right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
I think you got it right. I've sent some photos.
Yeah. So yeah, and so that, they'll always respond and get you answers pretty quick. And if they don't know it, or if they can't find it, most of the time they come to me or send it to me, and I handle it. So
Right.
we'll get it all taken care of.
We'll
one
get
way
it
or the
done
other.
one way or another.
Yeah, but it's a great organization. It's a great opportunity to help people, and if I didn't love my job, I wouldn't be doing it.
I
So,
hear you. Yeah.
And it's something I look forward to doing every day, is helping people and trying to get them on the right track and
Sure.
right path with things. So, and preserving the environment, that's an important aspect of
Right.
it as well. So we're gonna take a quick break again, and we'll be back. And I'm here with Bob Daly. We're talking about the plant sale and all kinds of other good stuff. So we'll see you back here in a minute. 104.5, 106.1 on our community radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Hey, Montgomery County, it's me, C.C. Holmes. And I would personally like to take this time to invite you, that's right, you, to join me every Saturday and Sunday from 3 until 7 p.m. where I will bring you the very best of smooth jazz, classic jazz, and indeed, yes, the soulful sounds of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So come along and get jazzy with me. That's right, jazzy. Right here, of course, on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Welcome back to the Extension Hour. I'm Michael Potter, here with Mr. Bob Daly.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
I'm wonderful today. It's spring.
It is so pretty out there.
Spring is sprung.
Yeah.
Trees are putting on leaves. People are getting antsy. They've been getting antsy for a month and a half, though.
Right, exactly, exactly. And I think people are ready, and I think they're ready to go to that plant sale tomorrow.
I agree. Yeah, 8 to 9, I'll be doing a presentation. And then from 9 to noon will be the actual plant sale.
Now, do people have to sign up for your presentation, or
Nope.
can they just come?
They just need to come in and go into the Thomas Leroy Education Building.
Right.
And head into the big conference room in there, and that's where we'll be doing it. We'll start promptly at 8, and I will end promptly at 9.
And there's no cost for that.
No cost for that. This is the cost of the plants as you walk out the door with them.
Right. Probably people should bring their own wagons.
Yes, definitely bring their own wagons. We've got 12,000 plus plants there. There's
Right.
going to be a lot of people there. It might be a little crowded, and it's going to be a warm day. Just suggest to the public, if you have a wagon, bring it with you. Bring some water, and make sure you I've told all of our master gardeners this morning, make sure they drink plenty of water.
Yep.
Our volunteers are great. I mean, we have over 120 volunteers that show up just to work plant sales.
Just the work plant sales. I've worked it many years, and it's hard work.
Yeah,
it's hard work.
And then the funny thing is, it's when it ends at 12, it's not over for us.
Yeah, because you got to pick everything up, take the tents down, do all the.
Yep, yeah. It's some, and our volunteers are just very dedicated to it, and that whole thing of having that fundraiser really supports everybody's part of it.
Sure.
We've got like 13, 14 different areas within our organization that need funds in order to maintain their garden area, to do research, to do these different things. The education classes that we put on, during Saturday, it's kind of supplemented, even though we do charge for those, that kind of pays, for a little bit of the materials, but we also have a supplemented, income for that with the fundraising to help provide those.
Yeah, because whatever it is, $5 or $8 is not going to cover all the stuff that's the people are going to be getting there.
I had one of our people that came through one time and said, $5 is too cheap. Y'all need to charge more.
That's right. Yeah.
For the information that they get.
I agree with you.
But
it's encyclopedic.
Yeah, and our deal is we just want to provide that education, get that education out to people.
Sure.
The only thing that we're doing is we're trying to recover just some of the cost of the drinks and some of the other little goodies that we get you and stuff like that.
Because there are snacks out there and coffee and drinks.
Yep. And those things are held just once a month on Saturday. Go to that mcmga.com website. They'll be posted there. That's a good opportunity for you to come and learn, some of the different things. We try to make those real timely too.
Right.
That's the whole key too. A lot of times homeowners tend to jump the gun on things.
Yeah.
And for y'all listening right now, if you fertilized your lawn already, you're way too early.
Way too early. Yep, that's right.
Yeah. But the whole thing is and when I say that, it's you put out the fertilizer. It starts to go down in the soil. The roots are not really, the whole plant is not growing.
It's not ready to take in that fertilizer.
Yeah, so that fertilizer gets distributed and goes past the root system. So you just wasted that money that you put on your lawn. So we always try to, say that when that lawn is actively growing, then you fertilize.
Right. So mid-April maybe.
Yeah, mid-April. And then not fungicides, but pre-emergence.
Pre-emergence.
The weed and feed issue here.
I hate that stuff.
I do. There's some actual stuff that only attacks the broadleaf weeds, and it's by application. So those could be used, but the fact is there's such high nitrogen that they can cause issues. That's where that caveat is if you have large patch, if you have take-all patch, these are exacerbated by using these type of products.
Right.
So, and then not to mention that off-target application can cause death among plants.
Sure.
We don't want that.
No.
So, if you're going to fertilize. And that's why we hold the Saturday morning class for turf grass very early in February. We try to get ahead of those people and say, whoa, don't do it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then, teach them more about the watering, when to water, when to start watering, when to turn off your water.
Right.
It's
Because
okay.
people shouldn't be watering their grass in the wintertime anyway.
No. Yeah. It's probably one of the first times I've ever seen St. Augustine go almost completely dormant.
This past year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it was interesting and fun to watch.
Yeah,
because it's starting to come back green. It's just slow.
Right.
I think I've mowed now. I guess it was about a week and a half ago, and it still doesn't need it. So it's 2 week mowings.
Right.
When it starts to get almost twice in 1 week, then we know it's growing. Yeah.
Right.
And when it does go, oh boy, I'm gonna have to take time off.
Or get your son to do it.
Yeah. With him, with his schedule, I don't know if he's
Yeah.
going to be able to do it either, but I might get my daughter involved.
You were talking about mcmga.com. There's also a series of articles in there that are people can read, and I think Cliff Blackerby writes a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, Anita
It's
Shiro.
a great article. Anita Shiro.
Yeah, and Linda Crum and you as well have all contributed to those. And there's archived information in there. They're all educational, pieces.
All kinds of topics in there.
I think I might even have a few little pieces in there.
I think you do. Yeah.
There's something about the It's All Raspberry possibly, and a couple other things. But yeah, that's a good informational resource. We're going to do some cleaning up of that this next year.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna change that website up a little bit. We're make it a little easier to get to some things, and
and
try to highlight our programs so much better. And we'll
that's a great idea. Yeah.
we'll be going to Facebook a little bit more, which we already do quite a bit. In fact, I think our totals here just recently on people reached by our plant sales stuff was like over 4,000 people so far. So yeah,
that's great.
Which not bad.
No, it's not bad.
And I think the last one, the January sale, I think we reached close to 7,000. So
that's fantastic.
yeah, and it's like I said, these fundraisers, they support the extension program. They support what we do. They support our education events, our gardens, our research projects. They also fund some scholarships for youth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they're about $2,000 worth of scholarships that they fund for the youth in Montgomery County. So, there's things like that with our Junior Master Gardener program as well.
That is a fantastic program. That is.
Yep. Well, we got one of the best ones in the state, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they're really doing a great job of getting out in the schools.
Yeah.
Yep. They do a lot of stuff, and it's really interesting and fun to do that. But, so adding rainwater harvesting,
right.
Those fundraising activities do that. And,
and the drip irrigation and the aquaponics.
That's right.
All that stuff,
Yeah, all that funding has to come from somewhere. And occasionally they pay for a conference or something for me to go to.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But, that's just supplemental. So it's just whenever the other funds from, the county travel runs out, then I got to use something else. But
we need you to have all that information to pass it on to us.
Yep, so y'all can pass it on to the public.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a stair-step process. And, it's a great program, and I hope that people will, take advantage of it. If you come out to see us tomorrow, try to be there from 8 to 9. We'll have a good presentation for you, talk about the plants, where to plant them. Miss Linda Crumb's going to be joining me.
Oh, good, okay.
Lynn Shaw's going to be joining me as well.
Oh, that's going to be great.
So, we'll have a little 3 of us getting up there and talking about some of the plants and stuff of that nature. But, yeah, and our Master Gardeners that will be out there will be helping you select plants for the right area.
Right. Because they're all knowledgeable. All the Master Gardeners that are going to be out there manning the booths for the plants, they know what that plant is about.
That's correct. And we even have an information booth where you can get information unrelated to plants. Related to your landscape and stuff like that.
Sure.
If you have a problem with insects or whatever it may be. We have publications available and stuff like that too. So just come out and join us. It's going to be interesting.
I agree. I think it's one of the biggest plant events in Montgomery County.
Yes.
And one of the biggest in this whole region.
Yeah. In fact, we always have other organizations come to us and say, how do y'all do it?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So, come out and join us from 8 to 9 in the morning. I'll be doing that presentation. And from 9 to noon, we'll be having the actual plant sale.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
I appreciate you joining me again.
Thank you, Mike.
We're having a great day, and hope you do too. And thanks for joining us here at the Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 and 106.1. Thanks for listening to the Extension Hour. Have a great day.
Thank you for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station. Don't forget to check out this show and many others across the Lone Star Community Radio Network, either live on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, the Lone Star Internet Radio app, or irlonestar.com's live audio stream, and on replay on podcast, Channel 12's Our City TV in Conroe, or Channel 21 KVQT in Houston, and of course their YouTube channel. This production is copyrighted and all rights are reserved by Lone Star Community Radio. Have a question regarding this program or other Lone Star Community Radio shows? Want to sponsor or start your own show? Call the station message line at 936-647-3776 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.